Well, it's going to hit about 90 today. Temperatures are going up a lot higher. Showing next week we're going to be about 91. Back out in the garden today. The agenda. First of all, I'm going to see what kind of potatoes I've got here. These are red potatoes I've gotten from the store. I'm going to go ahead and harvest them because they are starting to die back. So we're going to see what we got. Okay, so we're pulling up our first potato plant. Got a nice one there. What I'll do, I'll just pitch them over out of the way where I can collect them. Okay, we're going to see what we got right off the bat. I'm seeing quite a bit of potatoes in there. They're pretty nice size. They're quite low, yeah, look at that. These all were chitted, sliced up, eyes up. Wow, holy cow. All new potatoes. It's amazing. It's amazing. And what I'll do, I'm going to recycle the potato plants. We'll go to the chickens. That way nothing goes to waste. Man alive, that's just from one little plant right there. One little piece of potato. One little tiny piece. All that was. Golly, I'm still getting them. Still getting them. That's from one little piece of potato. Probably about the size of that right there. I've got all of those. Wow. That's amazing. That's only from one little plant. One small plant. That is amazing. Wow. All right, now we're going to go after the second one. See what we got. Yeah, we got a lot of rain yesterday. And it really picked up on my garden out here. It's really picked up. We got some small ones. It's really picked up quite a bit. Get a lot of small ones off this one. Plant number 2. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at the size of that. Nice. Surprising big. I was expecting all smaller potatoes. This is amazing. Oh yeah, golly. I've already got a couple pounds, 3 pounds probably already. Just off 2 little pieces of potato. And I did chit all of these. I didn't plant any whole potatoes anywhere. Oh wow, look at that. We're on number 3. I've got a lot of them to go. Look at that, non-stop. Yeah, like I say, these were bought at the store. This is for the chickens. These were all bought at the store and sliced up. And then they were put the eye up. Anybody can grow these. So simple. Yeah, I probably almost got 3 pounds there already. I haven't even started. Look at the size of them. Nice. And all of these are organic. I don't use herbicides. I don't use pesticides on anything in my garden. I let the bugs eat what little bit they eat as long as they're not out of control. The birds eat the bugs. You maintain a balance. Life is good. Look at that. Look at this. Look at that. Still going. Yeah, I'm up, getting on up there. Not even slowing down. We got little potatoes for soups. Some of them are big enough. I don't know if you've ever tried a fresh baked potato out of the garden, a red potato, but man, they're sweet and they're good. probably freeze some of these, use some for seed, dehydrate some and slice them up. We'll have them for a while. Yep, still coming. Haven't even started good yet. I'm up to 5 pounds at least out there. I'm seeing. Show you here in a minute. Look at that. You could roll that in aluminum foil, put that in the oven. Doesn't take long for these like it does a big russet. Man, it's put some butter and sour cream on that to die for. Yeah, I'm at 5 pounds at least over there. Amazing. So I'm seeing a bunch of small ones here. Doesn't matter, it all adds up, considering what we're all going through right now. Yeah, you need to grow your garden because this is just a little area and it takes very little. Right, this is going to be a while doing this, and I'll show you what I got when I get them all dug up. There they are, the red potatoes. I dug them all up. Keep in mind, like I was saying, these come from the store. It was a partial bag I used. I ate over half of the bag, and I cut the potatoes up, eyes up, and I planted these. Now there's probably 25 pounds here, if not more. These are pretty decent size, and I've got all sizes here. But I go with raised beds, like you see beside it there on the purple hulls, because the past 3 years you got to keep in mind of the weather and your topography of where you're at. Mine tends to run just a little bit low, so it will hold water if I get too much rain because of the water table. And so when I started going raised row beds, I stopped losing my gardens, having them drowned out for the past 3 years. This year so far seems a little drier, a little more favorable. But next I'm fixing to go after my russet potatoes, and I've got all of my reds up now. Dug up my russet potatoes. These didn't germinate as well, but they still did good because I only used a few of them. And for the handful I used, I did get probably a little over 5 pounds out of these. A very little area, done good. And red potatoes, can't complain at all. Better than I thought. So, you know, all this adds up to is you know, I want to call it our dilemma we're in. During people's worst time, it's like a double-edged sword. That's when people get the most creative, and that's when they get most capable, and they come up with everything to get around their problem, and it ends up better because they fix it. And keep one thing in mind when you're at the store: the consumer is the one that drives that market. So if all of that's been done by the big farming and everything, then that's what drives the machines, because that's what we want. But if, like when I first come down here in 1970, I had little old ladies with victory gardens everywhere, and they grew a lot of stuff, and you didn't just get help like you do now that easy. Now you can just get help real quick. It doesn't work that way back then. People were hungry, and I'd grow a little garden even when I was a kid and share it with the little old ladies and people around, the elderly people. They're long gone now. But yeah, everything can change, and so with very little space, actually, I know I got a lot of room out here, but it doesn't matter. Just look up intensive farming, replenish your soil, and you got to remember another thing too. Out of all these potatoes and everything I've grown, and these onions and all this other stuff, you have a high level nutrient density, so therefore it takes less food to fill you up because it's a higher quality food than it does what you get bulk in the stores, because they grow the same thing over and over and over. They use 3 nutrients, which is in the fertilizer. That's all you get. And I was thinking it was like 53, something like that. It's probably more that you have to have. So you're always hungry, and that's going to cause you to overeat. So what you grow yourself organically, and you know you don't use any herbicides, you don't use any pesticides in your soil, and you grow everything organic, and you replenish it, and you turn around and you harvest it, then you know what you got. So yeah, now we're fixing to go ahead and start pulling up some of these onions. I know they got some weeds around them. I've already got 3/4 of my 500 up. I'm going to pull these up and share these, and I'll take and process what I need. I don't hoard, I share. I only get just what I think I'll need for a while, because I know I can grow more as I go. So, but yeah, we're going to pull a couple of these up and see how they look. You know, it's, like I say, I don't worry about the weeds, because I knew I was going to pull them anyway, and I'm going to till them under and replenish the soil. So, see, some are small, some are large. I picked out my biggest ones. They were huge. So, I do have some big ones in here and there. There is some big ones. See, none of these are really big compared to what I pulled. This is getting a little closer with these. But these are Valdelias, and they don't like heat much anyway. But what's funny is when I bought these, I got a good deal on them. I bought 5 bundles, 100 each. And they all look like they're about to die just being in the bundle. But they popped out, and man, it just went crazy. So I'm pretty happy. Well, there we go. That's what's left. And what's there, these weeds and everything, they'll just be tilled back in. They'll just replenish and put the nutrients back. But yeah, here's one of my bigger ones right here. They were more like this and bigger. They're bigger than my fist. So yeah, these are all smaller, but it doesn't matter. But yeah, when you learn how to, when you get your garden growing, if you don't know how, just look at blanching, freezing, short term. Use what you get at the moment out of the garden that week, whatever. Then go to the blanching, freezing. Then you might want to go more advanced, longer term. You can go with canning. And the canning doesn't really last any longer than the freezing, but it's safer, because if you lose power, you don't lose it all. Then go to dehydration. Go to vacuum bags, and then look up silica dioxide and desiccant. In other words, it's a desiccant, and that's your extreme long term if you carry it further under a vacuum. So yeah, it's just all you gotta do is think your way through it. Just grow what you can, do best you can, share, don't hoard, just put a few things away, and never stop educating yourself to what's going on, and you can come up with a solution. You just gotta stay with it. That's what I've got. Come back up with the shade, rinsed everything off. Got my Valdelias washed down a little bit. I have to trim those up and clean them up and peel them a little bit. They'll look really good when I do that. There's all my red potatoes, or they like to call them new potatoes. And there's my russet potatoes. Didn't use much of those. I think I used a couple of potatoes, chitted them out and cut them up, put them in there. So yeah, got a pretty good result. This isn't as much as I normally get, very tiny amount. But I'll get these processed, put away, and I'll just keep going with some more. I'm going to go back down and start cutting a few more leaves off my Georgia collards and keep putting those away too. And I am going to share some of these, or quite a bit of these, and kind of ease things with some people. Just y'all be careful out there, and just watch what you do, and don't forget to keep educating yourself on everything.